Yes, I came to see and listen to Abhi. Uh, I think most of us, right? I've not met Abhi. I think I was not a member then in Chennai chapter, but yes, it was great listening to her in the session for the board.
Thank you.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Namaste and vanakkam, as we say in our Chennai chapter. And we thank you for joining today's L&D session on DEIB, a conversation that feels both, timely and timeless. As coaches and leaders, we support individuals, we support teams. So when we talk about DEIB, it's now like no longer nice to have a conversation, right? It became a strategic capability for companies or organizations, and even for us, it's like a foundational practice to meaningful leadership and sustainable coaching. So what do we do? What do Abhi does here? She'll be explaining to you all those things as coaches, how we can inculcate these DI principles in our coaching. So before I hand it over, today's session is basically anchored by Preeti Guruswamy, our DEIB cap for Chennai Charter Chapter. And before I hand over the mic virtually, of course, to her, just have to share a little bit about the chapter initiatives we have been having for our M&A, the members and associates, and for the community as a whole. So before I begin, welcome Abhi one more time, and thank you for your time. Welcome Preeti, and for all the coordination. Thanks dear. And so yeah, what are we doing in Chennai community? You know our monthly L&D session. Apart from that, we have a coachability session every alternate month, means once in 2 months, which is basically the resource persons are drawn from our Chennai M&A, and they will actually share a tool, their technique, or whether it is their tool or any other tool which they use in in their coaching. And this coachability session too carries CCUs. So it is it is no double advantage for you. You can learn a tool as well as you can get some CCUs for your renewal. And we, apart from that, we have also our monthly blog where our MNA they form and write about coaching, coaches, and then a book pulse where there is a review of a book done which is related to coaching or leadership. Please do keep visiting our website and our LinkedIn where Neetu, our marketing and communications director, she'll be posting messages as and when we are releasing our videos, our book reviews, our blogs. So in addition to that, next month we have something called Milan, an in-person um, event for our M&A hosted by our chapter, for which our events director Sriram will be posting it in the M&A group. So you'll be getting details from there, and please do try to make it to the event. Uh, we are also having lining up some exciting events for you, in-person events, and some with respect to business of coaching and all these things, which we will be posting as and when we have decided in the M&A group. Please do engage in the M&A group and community group for all those details. And coming to this session carries is awarded one core competency CC and zero point 0.5 RD, and you will be receiving your CC certificate in 1 week to 10 days. So let me now, before inviting Preeti, let me now just introduce Preeti. Preeti Guruswamy is an executive coach, leadership facilitator, and LinkedIn top voice, a PCC certified coach and Lumina Spark practitioner with over 1,000 hours of coaching experience. She specializes in activating collective intelligence, amplifying personal branding, and strengthening leadership gravitas. 25 plus years in global technology leadership across firms like Oracle, CGI, Informatica, and Intuit, she blends strategic depth with human centered insight. Today, she bridges the rigor of the tech world with the emotional clarity of leadership development, bringing the clarity of a coach and the curiosity of an innovator to every space she enters. Preeti says she is a techie by heart and a coach by purpose. And apart from that, she is also our CAP leader for DEIB, who is responsible for introducing CAP in every vertical we use. Preeti, the floor is literally yours.
Thank you, Aruna. Thanks for such a warm welcome. Namaskara, everyone. I'm Preeti from Bangalore, and I've been actually been part of ICF Chennai chapter since mid last year, working on DEIB. I'm privileged enough to work along with Raj on the DEIB pillar. It has been really a great learning experience as I was speaking to Abhi, Raj, and all of them. And with that, let me actually help unwind what DEIB means for me. For me, DEIB in India, the moment we hear about diversity, inclusion, we think mostly on gender. And from the beginning, for me, it has always been beyond gender, right? And with that intention, the mission of ICF Chennai chapter is also having a DEIB, not only like, cultivating through coaching community, but also the full spectrum of human experience. And that's the essence of the DIB, right? So in our intention is not just to build awareness, but to embed diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging across the pillar of the chapter journey that we are aiming for. Be it championing diversity by like the one which we are doing right now, or cultivating inclusion. But the intention is, as today we have the pillar, but eventually having this horizontally across different pillars. A lot of work that we've already been doing, like L&D learning session, there's Ignite as well. All of these pillars do blend in a lot of diversity, inclusion, and belonging when we bring in. As I said, our vision is to move beyond the single pillar and create or infuse practices across culture. So it becomes like a second nature. Similarly, how we lead, coach, and connect, right? And it doesn't have to be another conversation that we need to talk about. In the same spirit of transformation, I would like to welcome Abirambika, and I take the privilege of calling her Abhi. I've always admired her, and listened to her leadership series, and I've been working with her on this while she helped us to do sanitization and quite a lot of work across the board, like Aruna said. And Abhi is an entrepreneur, leadership coach, and a systems thinker who champions human-centric innovation for a sustainable impact. And that That's really very close to my heart. As I said, even in my experience, I work on bridging the human-centric innovation and the tech world, right? And that's why I resonate a lot with of her work that she does. Abhi is the founder and CEO of Green Minds and Human System at Work in Canada. She leads the purpose-driven ventures that help individuals and organizations thrive in complexity with a clarity, collaboration, and courage. With the background in corporate banking, leadership development, and mindful-based practices, she blends strategic insight with holistic wisdom. She has created flagship programs like human-centric systems leadership and resilient flow. Abhi also hosts Leadership Insights series on LinkedIn Live, exploring future of leadership and work with global thought leaders. And in today's session, as you also, we will be reflecting on what DEIB is, multifacets of diversity, and we will enter the space with a lot of openness, curiosity, with a collective will to make coaching more courageous, inclusive, and human-centric. And from there, from here is where I hand it over to Abhi for us to enable us to explore this part, and that she'll walk us through this. Abhi, over to you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me. It feels so nostalgic being back in Chennai chapter, right? So thank you once again. And I know I'm not an expert in DEIB. I start there, right? So it's a invitation for all of us to just co-create this space. I definitely have some slides, but that's not what we are here for. But it is for us to kind of unpack how we can think about DEIB and A, which is accessibility. So I'll keep insisting on how that plays a significant role in how we approach coaching and, of course, as we move forward in today's session, we will see some examples, some cases, and a lot of reflection. And that's my invitation for all of you here as well. So use this space today to just see how it can connect to you. Not necessarily everything might resonate, but that's fine, right? There's absolutely nothing that stops us from just reflecting and thinking, and that's what we do best as coaches. So start with the slides, but and I'll quickly skip through my introduction. We've already done my introduction, so I'll skip it through. But I want to start by asking all of you to arrive. I know it's evening for most of you, right? And you've probably had a long day, had a lot of coaching clients, done workshops or whatever. So take a moment to just pause. Think of this space as a space where you can share kindness, curiosity, and care. And however you want to use the chat to put that, if you want to put a heart there or an emoji or a smiley or a word, I invite you to take that space and pass that on to everybody else who's in this space today, in this room. Take a moment to do that. Whatever feels, yes, abundance. Okay, thank you. My most favorite word. Thanks, Prasad. Okay, this dance. And yes, compassion. Thank you, Rika. Curiosity, allowance. Thank you. So keep thinking about what you're bringing and what you want to share and how you want to create this space. And the reason why I want to start here is to think about DEIB. There is a lot of structure and a lot of different ways it can be approached. And the reason why this program is also called Dancing with the Difference is difference shows up in so many ways, like Preeti said. And because Preeti did the introduction, I want to say, while technology gets better and being technology, you have the most phenomenal AI, we as humans keep getting better at being more human, right? Like, how can we do that and take that as our intention for our today's session? Presence, dance. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. These are great. Curiosity. Okay, I want to start with this story. I know a couple of you from the board, we saw this, but I want to start here by talking about this red-nosed reindeer called Rudolph. And in Santa's lot of different reindeers, this was the only one who was different, who had a red nose, a nose that would light up. So because he was different, he was always excluded because everybody else didn't understand why his nose was growing and always red and lighting up. So he was never included in any of the sleigh rides or whatever, until one day there was this very dark day where Santa needed more light. So he invited Rudolph to be be on his sleigh, and then that day, that's how he kind of managed his work. So since that one event, he started getting included. He started being valued in among the rest of the group, and then he felt that he found his place. But before that, he was going through the space of, okay, I don't fit into this. I am a reindeer. I am different, but I just don't understand why I'm being excluded, or what is the problem with my red nose, right? So I want you to think about a moment where we don't know how differences can show up, and how sometimes these differences very unconsciously, that keep getting in our way, right? So if you think as coaches, if you think Rudolph was your client and he came before this sleigh ride, which means before Santa invited him, I want you to think about these questions. How do you approach this conversation with him, right, as a coach? What would you explore together? How would you hold space for someone who's being othered? What one powerful question you might ask to help Rudolph look at this situation? And would you begin to notice what the system is doing? If there's, this is for you to think about, but if you can find even like one question or top of the mind, whatever comes to you, put that in the chat. So this was before the sleigh ride. How would you hold this space? Okay, that's a lot of thinking going on, right? Okay. So maybe take a screenshot of this for you to even think about it as we keep progressing in this conversation, that because the person doesn't sometimes understand as a coach. And that's why I wanted to start with this story, because as coaches, we play a significant role in the system, in the society, because we help individuals, teams, groups that we work with to really shift out of, or change the system rather. So that's why I keep calling coaches as leverage points in system. And we kind of help change behaviors, change actions, bring awareness, right? So this is a very powerful space to be in. Therefore, having an understanding about DEIB and A is quite important, and we'll keep talking about it as we move. Approach as welcoming. Thank you, Neetu. Okay. Okay, so now in this image, which bird are you noticing first? Yeah, automatically our eye kind of goes there, right? Even though the bird is, somewhat different, but from the lot. Because human mind is always looking for, and what stands out is, of course, what's different. And what is something that is different, the way our own lived experiences will say that, yes, this is good or this is bad. So the judgment kind of plays in our head, right? So, and even the position of the picture. Yeah, thank you. So always when our mind goes to noticing difference, which means we always deal with it differently as well, because our mind will say, okay, that's so different, deal with it differently. And then is that good, is that bad? There is no one way, but more and more differences exist in our system and in our society, and we keep noticing them. So our question is, how do we dance with it, or how do we work with it, and how do we kind of engage and support, all of that, right? Now, this is a personal story I want to share here, and this is when I think my son was about 2 years old, and or even rather before. So I had this African mask at home, and it quite scary mask. This is not the exact mask, but it was quite a scary mask for a toddler, right? Looking at it, and then every time he sees that on the wall, he would get scared. And as parents and grandparents, we were just so elated that our son can be scared by something, right? So we used that literally to feed him food, get anything done with him. We would show him the mask and say, hey, listen, this is going to come to you, so you better start doing this work properly. Okay, and it worked. So brilliant. We found some way to deal with a toddler who isn't listening. So then there was this moment where I traveled to Canada. At that time, he was 2 years old. And we were in TTC. There's this African lady, quite heavy built, and she's sitting just opposite us in the TTC. And now imagine what he did. Any guesses what he would have done? Looking at her?
He may have said the mask lady.
Absolutely. Thanks. And yes, cried. He cried so vehemently. I was so embarrassed by that, right? Because he's looking at her, looking at me, and crying, looking at her. So she didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. We were put in such a tricky situation that's when it hit me that we do this so unconsciously, right? It's like nobody thought about it. It was a mask. We never thought this was he could relate it to a person, but subconsciously what it did to him is anything looking this way is a scary thing. I don't want to go near it, right? He kind of differenced it in his head. But thankfully now he has a lot of African friends here, so I am so grateful that that's passed for him. But what I'm trying to say here is, in the system, because we just don't realize, we land up doing things that can hurt others, that can hurt us, and we can just, without even realizing or having the awareness, be doing something that isn't really more human, I would say, right? And but that moment, it felt so that was an awareness moment for me, I would say, right? Think about it for yourself. Is there such things very unconscious that's happening with you without realizing? So nobody wants to hurt someone consciously. At least that's what we all would be. But then there could be those which, without realizing, right, that we could be doing. So difference is not a problem to fix, because the one bird or this one someone or the Rudolph is not the problem for themselves. It's the problem because we see it differently. We want to fix it, right? So it's never about the others. More so, I would invite us to think about how is it for us? What is it? Are we listening? So differences just asks us to think about, are we truly listening? And are we willing to be changed or even challenged about our own thinking and assumptions, or how we are progressing with what we see? Okay, sorry, I went back. And this is Preeti, special slide exclusive based on what we discussed, right? So differences can kind of show up in so many different ways. It's in so many forms. And this is something I just asked ChatGPT and it gave me this in like a second. So this is just a rough list of differences, I would say. But take a moment. I want to give you the time to think about it, read it through, and then see. Of course, we know all of these, right? There's absolutely, all of us know all of these differences, but how does it show up? Do we recognize it? And if there are so many differences, then how do we work with all of this in our mind? It's too complex, isn't it? Or is it very easy? What do you all think? Anything from this time? Complex, yeah. The more labels, the more complex it gets, at least for me, for sure. Okay, so just one look and we know there is so many differences. Of course, then the best option or the way we can kind of deal with it, how do we do that? And that's why I say dancing with the differences is some, option that's available for us, because we find it so difficult to handle each of it and have like a game plan, right? Like, how do I have a game plan for each of these differences? It's not easy. Interesting at the same time. Thank you, Geeta. Yes. Okay, so this is a fun thing we're going to do right now. Okay, we are all probably 30 of us, 33 of us in the room. Okay, I'm going to put in statement after statement. And in each statement, if it is true for you, give a thumbs up in the chat. If it's not true, put a smiley in the chat. Okay, this is the first one. So we'll go really fast. Okay, I was born outside of India. If it is true, give a thumbs up. Oh, there you go. Okay, outside of India, there you see a lot of smileys. So if not, put a, okay, great. So the next one, I speak more than one language fluently. Yeah, so a lot of thumbs up there again. Okay, next. I've quoted someone from an equity deserving and an underrepresented group. Yes. Okay, that I'm sure all of you, right? Or most of us. Okay, I've worked hard to fit in somewhere. Okay, there's one no, Ravi. Okay, a lot of S's there again. Okay, I'd identify with more than one culture. No, yes, smiley. Okay, nice. Have felt excluded or unseen in a space because of something about me. Lot of thumbs up there as well. Okay. I offer pro bono coaching as a part of giving back every year. Okay. I use AI tools in some part of my coaching work. No. Okay. No. Partly no. Okay. So remember the no is all smileys. Okay. It's common for me to hear my name mispronounced. I've always had that. My surname. Okay. Okay. I've had a client share something that challenged my own assumptions. Yes. Okay. So I know this was like a fun thing to do, but I want you to scroll back up and look at the chat. Are all thumbs ups? Do you have a no? Do we see how different we are all? We're all coaches, yet so different. And the best part about my name, I always get, I know I read a comment saying always outside of the country. For me, it's the opposite. For me, my name is mispronounced in India than outside, because in India, you're always, you have a, you see either Abirami or Ambika, right? So it's easy to associate with one of the names. Whereas outside here in Canada, nobody knows either. So I'm always pronounced right. Isn't that interesting? I found it interesting when I came here. Okay. So if, all of us were the same, we will not have a sky like this with different stars sparkling in different ways, and which is what you can see in the chat as well, right? So differences are so powerful and so beautiful. And that, I think, is what we kind of will be working towards, or kind of using as a reference to say, if imagine how the sky will look if everything was the same, orderly placed, a pattern created. How would a sky look? Would you love seeing the sky every day that way? No. Yeah, absolutely not. Okay. So let's move on. Let's try and understand DEIBA. And, of course, the slide is there. You can have reading a little bit. But key points is diversity is about who's in the room, right? It's the presence of differences within a given setting that's with different backgrounds and just like what we've been seeing for so long. And then in belonging is cultivating a deep sense of acceptance. And that acceptance is about how do you help everybody feel that they've also built the room together. Equity is about fair treatment. Equity ensures everyone can thrive in the room. And inclusion is about, of course, creating environments where all individuals feel welcome and respected. So inclusion is about making all voices are heard in the room. And I keep adding accessibility because as, accessibility being an important element of how we show up or what are some of the things. For example, I like seeing really small fonts, but if I put that, then it's difficult for many people to read, right? There are a couple who can read, couple not. So how can you think about accessibility with this physical, digital, cognitive, systemic, and a different type of neurotypes as well, right? So that's DEIB plus A. And we will work a little more further on this. And this is something that I use in the Dancing with Difference. Oh, sorry, Mitu. I was reading your comment. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so this is like a matrix or a very simple 2x2, which we are all so used to 2x2s, right? And this is something that I use in my Dancing with Difference program with teams. So I use this in team coaching to help teams see that how they can look at differences at the same time, come together and create a safe space. So unconscious exclusion is I didn't even realize I was excluding. This is something similar to what I shared as a story, right? So a very unconscious exclusion of saying this is not something. Then there's conscious exclusion, which is I know I'm excluding and I am still doing it anyways because, this is not for me kind of thing. The next is unconscious inclusion, which comes naturally to be inclusive. It's how you normally behave. And conscious inclusion is I intentionally create space for differences. And that's when you kind of create an integrated space. So again, this is a space for you to reflect and think about. Don't need to put anything on the chat, but I want you to think where most times, not necessarily in all times would behave in all situations similarly, but in most times, are you able to see in which quadrant you fall? And if so, how would you like to shift, change, build your awareness in whatever way you feel right and whatever resonates to you? So just take a moment to read those things that I've put here and see where you're being pulled at times and where would you like to be. I will move on. So awareness of DEIBA is what can be our actionable step to create space for all in the room. And another thing, while you're coaching, today we coach digitally, right? We coach probably a couple of less sessions. We've been said you do 6 sessions or 8 sessions or 6 months engagement, 8 months engagement. That's generally how we do, where there are clients that you just coach once, right? You kind of go on to these digital platforms and you get assigned these clients and you don't have a chemistry session from the get-go. You have to start coaching these clients, right? So there are so many different ways we are now coaching as well. And in such situations, and coaching different kind of experiences can come to the room. So I'm going to share 3 small examples of coaching clients that I've had. And those examples kind of helped me understand DEIB in a different way. So the client one is I'm always treated differently because I'm a they and them. So this person likes to be addressed as they and them. And the client expressed deep fatigue of workplaces where everybody was always mispronouncing or not addressing them correctly. And I also felt that because I am they and them, I am not treated the same way probably a she will be treated, right? So this was something that came in a coaching session as part of a different kind of goal that we're talking about. And all the client needed was, can I have this space and a safe space that we create for our clients, right? So can I just talk about it? Can I really see how I can overcome or go past these? So we explored some of these moments and I'll talk about these insight shift. It's a card pack that I've created with a lot of metaphors, and it kind of helped. And that's what I used in these coaching sessions to see how a random pick card or a metaphor can really help them to see things differently as well, right? So we'll talk more about it as we progress. So this is client number 1, and I want you to just hear these stories. So client number 2, I've been told to tone down my voice. I'm too loud. So this is a Black woman in leadership, and whenever she talks, she's always thought to be aggressive and not assertive, right? And all because her tone is loud, and she feels that that's her normal tone. And the coaching conversation went on to say, how can I change? But eventually, I mean, when you change too much, then it is also changing your personality overall, right? So she wasn't very comfortable doing that either. So how would you handle such a situation of understanding the systemic bias? And most times they come from a very different, I mean, you saw the differences sheet, right? Their experiences, their own, lived experiences, or their own historic, spaces kind of give them a certain view. And when we talk professional, is it fitting in? Is it even professional, or all of that? So we kind of spoke there. And then the next, another example is I accidentally misgendered my team member, again, a they and them, but because the person looks like a woman, and every time for you to remember, I need to address this person, they and them. And, we're in a digital world, we're not meeting regularly. So for this leader, it was very hard to remember and address correctly. So the leader was challenged to saying, you aren't, doing fair treatment. So there was always this discomfort and fear of how do I work with these team members when by mistake I say something, and I'm always, I'm not doing it intentionally, but I am being, cornered and challenged about that, right? So I want us to do a short activity of going into your breakout rooms. So this is what I want us to do. It's a 10-minute breakout. Probably we will reduce it because of the time to about 8 minutes. Aruna, I'll take your help here. So about 8 minutes, and I want you to think about these questions. What did you, if were such situations, have you had experiences like this that you came across in your coaching conversations about identity, culture, communication style, any differences, right? What did you do as a coach in that moment? What did you learn from that experience? And do you think awareness of DEIB was important in that situation? So this is what you're going to be talking about, 8 minutes. And we'll have, I think, 8 breakout rooms.
Yes,
Thank you.
you want me to upload the PDF now? Would you like me to upload the PDF now? I think that's not now. Okay.
Not for now. But for the second.
Okay, I'll just give me a minute. I'm creating the breakout rooms.
Sure. So while
so we are 34 people. Just a minute. We're 34 people. So it is like 4 to 5 you want, right?
Yeah. 4 to 5, or if you can do 8. 8 is good. So it will be less of it's fine.
No, 4 to 5 per room.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what you mentioned to me in the mail. I wanted to recheck with you.
Yeah, sure.
Let me just.
So while Aruna is pulling out and creating breakout rooms, I want you to think about your coaching conversations and think about what are some of those experiences. Maybe there was a moment where you felt, oh, I just don't get it, or I don't understand this. Would some of this knowledge be helpful in these experiences, or things like that, right? So I want you to think about your own coaching experience of how differences showed up and what you did, what you felt you could do, or what you wanted to do, you couldn't do, things like that.
So, Abhi, Preeti and all, you just feel free not to join the room.
Sure.
Because it only excludes the co-host. So.
Okay. I'll see you in probably 8 minutes.
I think Neetu is alone in one room.
I'm here only. I have not joined.
Yeah. Because I excluded co-host. Would you like to join some room, or are you okay here?
I am okay here.
Okay. That was a very powerful question, Avi. When you said, how are you dealing with it? It was like, really, yes, we do come across, but literally lost how to deal with it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And you're talking about the cases, right?
Yeah. Before that, you asked when the starting of the session, you said, right, when you were. Actually, I just wanted to check with you. See, sometimes this I do the work on the gender dynamics, so that office house help. Because when I was talking to these interns in Ireland recently, they all came to me with one thing: how do we can navigate that? Because when 4 interns join, Among them, 2 were women, girls, and these 2 girls were always asked to pick up the lunch or arrange for some gifts, or
Mhm.
pick up coffee for the boss or something like that. And they said they had to do it, though they didn't like it, because of course it's a question of getting a placement. But yes, I think this also comes under the DEIB purview, or
It does, and for it's two ways, right? One is the person doing it is coming from an experience or lived experience of saying, okay, this is women's job, and then for the 2 girls, they are feeling pressured because they feel that isn't right. So that's where the difference is always emerging, and in the moment, as humans, the person who's even giving that instruction can always notice that this isn't sitting well. I wanted to share another experience. I mean, as we move forward, about usually in common TTCs and all your metros, when old people walk in, we tend to get up and give them a seat to sit down, right? But have you all seen that some of the old people don't like that treatment? They're like, I'm fine, you go ahead and sit down, right? Because they feel hurt if the seat is being given because they're of their age, right? So you have all of those different, what do I say? You know, people who don't want it and people who want it as well. So how do you recognize that? And how that's where the presence is important. We'll talk a little more about it as well. Hi, Kanan.
Hey, Aruna, just to add to it.
yeah.
Sorry for being late. Abhi. Missed the important parts of the conversation.
Oh, no.
Just
That's
got
okay.
pulled into something very urgent, so this came out.
No worries. Thanks for joining us, Kanan.
Thanks for spending your time here.
Oh, pleasure. Yeah, Preeti, you were saying.
Yeah, so I was just saying, just to add to Aruna, you heard this about bringing coffee, tea, quite a lot on the Western side or the European side versus on the, at least that coming from the technology space, we don't do that, right? But if you look at any team meeting and any team meeting for that matter in your experience, say there was a lunch, you automatically go for cleaning up, right? So one of the things that I used to do is I was very intentional of calling men as well, joining me and helping me out. Like subtly saying, this is all our work together, right? So they just don't walk out of the room without cleaning up, right? So some are unconscious, but some are conscious as well. But at that point of time, just being consciously voicing out is nothing wrong. And I used to always do it.
And it
I've
doesn't.
seen this. Sorry, Abhi. Yeah.
No, I'm saying it doesn't mean like sometimes it can sound very feminist or it can be like, taken to an extreme of something. But that's where the invitation is, can we be more human here and say, okay, whoever can help. Instead of saying, hey, you people come and help, can someone help like what Preeti is saying, right? And I had this, something I just read today before coming into this is how can men be an ally for women in workplaces is something that, workplaces here do quite often. So the men kind of support women leaders to grow. And the mentorship is always, planned in such a way. So there is so many different ways we can approach this. And yeah, that's why this unconscious and conscious is important, because they're just doing it with unconscious approach maybe, or conscious, and it's for them to think about, can I change, and is this even helpful anymore?
Yeah, I guess it's at the end of the day, it's also the top tier which sets this intentional way of working, right? Yeah, if the MD or the CEO happens to do such an action like asking an intern to pick up, a girl intern to pick up, I think it sort of gets normalized as a culture, like it's okay, right? I mean, that is
Yeah,
where
and then it also has this opposite fear, right? Like that last case that I was saying, now the fear is, oh, what if I do it incorrectly? Like, for example, if 2-3 times this has been voiced out, then these leaders now are going into a fear space
yes.
of saying, oh, if I say something, I'm going to be, treated incorrectly. So you kind of lose even connections and relationships now because there is so much focus on it. So it's playing in so many different ways. So how can we shift out of all of that and just dance with these differences and be more human? That's it. That if that can happen, then we are not scared, we are not othered. We are able to live a life that we want to kind of enjoy, right?
Abhi, I feel like usually the culture is set like top down, right? what the
Yes,
leader do, others follow. But I feel even any person in any platform, if they are doing something, out of the way, doing something different, we can say, like including somebody, if that is acknowledged and highlighted, uh,
definitely.
that can set a new culture.
Yeah. And when you think of DEIB, we think of workplaces. I don't know. I think we can close the room and get everything.
You said 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's
We
almost.
have 2 more minutes. Just now I sent a broadcast saying two
I
more
saw, I
minutes.
saw. I saw. I saw.
Yeah.
Mithu, you're right. And I think DEIB is looked at from a workplace right now. But then if you really think about it, it's across, it's there around us in every different spaces that we go, it is there, right? So, for example, our own websites as coaches, are we making it accessible? So many different questions that we can ask ourselves, which can keep helping to see things at different light. And like Priti was saying, it starts from home, I feel. So something that about cleaning up, like for me, I consciously make sure that my son does it. And I don't, I mean, of course I do it. My husband does it, but I'm pushing my son to do it as well. He enjoys cooking.
So I closed
Yes,
the room.
yes,
Sorry to disturb you. And just to update Babu Raj and Raj, are they here or I think they are in the. So Abhi, the flow is like this. After your presentation now, there'll be a Q&A, and then Raj will share something, and then Babu Raj will summarize.
Okay, sounds good. So we just have a couple of more and one more breakout room and we'll be good.
Yeah. Oh, you have one more breakout room?
Yes.
Okay. How much time are we assigning?
That's 15 minutes. That's a little more deeper conversation. This is more of a settling in. And so it's the same breakout. You can use the same breakout, Aruna, if that works.
I'll have to check.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. So thanks, everyone. I hope you had an interesting conversation. Just for the want of time, we're not going to debrief that now. We'll do the debrief for this next one. But if there's any interesting conversation or story or something, put a line about it in the chat.
Yeah, people have come back. 31
Yeah.
have joined.
People had to come back.
To come back. Okay. I know many of what you spoke about is what is here in the slides as well. This is where I'm thinking about how it connects to what we are talking about here, right? So why DEIB is essential for us as coaches. So we coach the whole person, not just the goals. So it includes their identities, histories, lived experiences, and all of it. And then the power and privilege show up in such subtle ways, right? In coaching or assumptions or just the pace in which we cannot go or any such thing. Then we create space for transformation. So how can we help clients to move and go through the transformation process in itself? I see a hand. Hi, Maheshwari. Just give me a second. I'll finish this and there are a couple of hands. Okay. So next is without DEIB awareness, we risk reinforcing some of those norms and stereotypes. And inclusion is not just about the client. Plus A matters here. Like I said before, how can we be having more our coaching conversations or our coaching offerings more accessible to as many people as possible? Clients are listening for safety, so they really come in because they have this safe space. They have a non-judgmental space, for themselves. They have this, some person like an ally. They look at coaches as allies who can kind of help them to think and pause and all of it. So how can we give that space for them? And bias lives in all of us, is it? Right? And coaching work is more human centric. So I feel like it's important to have this awareness while we can be more and more efficient in our coaching conversation. Oh, so I know there are three hands up. Michael, is there a question or sharing?
Yes, Abhi, related to the theme of the session itself. Can I ask now or later?
They said they are going to have a Q&A.
Okay. So then
It's,
maybe later.
it's as per your convenience, Abhi. You want to take it now or Q&A, it's up to you.
Yeah, then we can take it now. But we have just a couple of more things to go. And if it's a quick question, I'll answer now. Otherwise, I will say we will do it at the end. You can go ahead and ask, Maheshwari.
So my question is related, we have always seen, in the industrial world, okay, or the corporate world, we have seen America as go to follow. So recently, when we talk about the DEIB policies shifting, the genders are being known by either he or she. Okay, so what is we are seeing in the corporate world presently? Even we saw some of the policies being rolled by some of the prominent names in the industry as well. So how, things are now evolving with all the changes? As I know that people have become more open to it. Just throw some light down, what is the reflection in other parts of the world, or something. So that's was I was curious about.
Sure, sure. Yeah, it's definitely a longer conversation, but I'll do a quick answer to that by saying, for the sake of it, so sometimes we see them as checklist items, which is where the challenge of, it's not really creating the value that it was expected to create, right? That is when we're seeing some of these roll back. But of course, there's policies, there's so many other things and politics that play in it. But there are organizations who still are doing full-on work in the DEIB space here that I can confidently, large organizations that still continue to do it and put their efforts forward. But I think that this is a nice inflection point where there's all of this awareness and build that has happened, and now they're seeing what's the next stage of DEIB that can look like, and that's what I am seeing. I know there are two more hands.
Sudhaka.
Sudhaka. Nice name.
Yeah. Hi. See, I was just wondering, the difference is all because of the difference of opinion that we have. Because all these would not exist if you don't have a difference in your opinion. Everything pops out once when you have a difference in opinion. I tend to see that because be it diversity, equity, inclusiveness, a sense of belonging to some place where you work, it all arises because of that individual causing some difference in an opinion that he or she has to share in a meeting or anywhere else. That's when this difference all arise.
Yeah. So usually differences like how we do these, conflicts or making it a functional conflict and how we kind of deal with it, right? So differences always existed, which is what I'm trying to bring to saying it was not that it didn't exist. Of course, there's a lot more differences now, but how do we acknowledge the difference and not and challenge it in a progressive way so that everybody is able to move forward, other than pulling some down and saying, okay, this is the right thing to do, or this is the only way to do things. And as coaches, I think that's what we do in our coaching conversations day in and day out, right? Helping people to have a different perspective or helping. So I can give you a context of how this works really well in teams, because I'm a team coach and I work with teams. Of course, a team of 10 or 15, you're going to have 10 different minds thinking about the same problem or challenge in so many different ways. But then how do they all come together? And it is all shaped by so many things, their experiences and so many different attributes to it. But how do they come towards a common something? And how do they dance with that difference? And not.
So how long is that process going to take to fix
it's a lot of patience game, I would say. Right? And which is where, answering Maheshwari's question also is there's a lot of time and effort that's required to have these conversations. In workplaces, there is no space for that. There isn't much space for it, right? But now we are seeing such change happen. There is more and more conversations, more and more such engagements that are happening. So it is changing for sure. That go mindset to let's pause, and so that's even become a way of approach, right, for many people in organizations. So we're seeing that shift happen for sure.
So is there going to be a mix between the senior staffs and the one reporting to them? How is that going to happen? Because you're going to mentor them separately and the group separately. How is that you're going to fix that?
No, when we say team, it's of course there's leadership team, but there's always leader as part of the team.
Okay.
I mean, that's when you still, do what you, and they have another understanding when they're part of the team. So at least in the team coaching sessions that I do, the leader is always present, and no conversations happen separately. It's always conversations with everyone, so everybody is able to see what's happening with others. Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Neeraj, I know you had your hand up before. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. I completely resonate with what you said as a team coach. Leader is very much part of the team. When I also start working with them, it's not us versus leader. It has to be everybody who is part of the team. And second thing which I found really helpful is people are encouraged to add their pronouns in their email signature and on Zoom. Let's say Neeraj Juneja, how do you want to be called as? Then there are less chances of anybody making a mistake. So these two things I wanted to share, which I've come across as a best practice.
Definitely. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move forward. We have a couple of more things to get to. Okay, so from intention to practice, now we've seen all of what we've seen today, and we've built some kind of understanding and awareness. And how do we really use that in our coaching cases or coaching practice? So I have this simple 3M model that you can think about. One is mindset. How can we cultivate internal awareness, which is the shifts that needs to happen just within us, right? And then the next one is method, designing equitable coaching experiences or including accessibility. How do you want to design your coaching practices using what we are thinking about or what you're learning? And then the last one is moment. And this is an important aspect for me is how do you build, I mean, as coaches, powerful listening and, deep listening and presence and pausing is all something that we practice day in and day out in our coaching conversations. But as a person, how are we bringing that as a natural ability? And those moments kind of guide us. Because, an example could be in a common, train, bus, TTC, whatever, and the metro, an old person coming in, the natural tendency is to get up and give them a seat, right? But have you had an experience of an old person saying, no, I'm fine, I can stand? Have you had that, right? Because this person doesn't want that treatment. So how do we, with all of these differences, have a game plan of dealing with all of this? The only way to do it is presence in that moment, because in that moment, looking at this person and looking at their expressions, you would understand whether they need a seat or they don't need a seat there. So that's where I think as coaches we have this really interesting skill ability to bring presence and deep listening into a space, which helps us to kind of do that with our coaching clients. And on those three examples, that I shared, not one, I mean, they didn't want that to be solved, right? So we would think that, okay, they want to set some goals and they want to solve this problem. That's not what they wanted. Someone wanted solution, someone wanted action, but just wanted someone to listen to us or just have that space and just reflect, right? So mindset, method, and moments are powerful in my view to deal with DEIB in a way that's more human, and that can help us. There is complexity. We saw that in the chat. Everybody said, "Oh, it's too complex." But then this is kind of the antidote. How do we work through that? It can be quite helpful. Okay, this is the last activity from me. So this is a 15-minute breakout. So I'm going to share a little bit about this before we jump into the breakout room. So I have just these two questions. What does it mean to truly dance with the difference, right? Not to avoid, not to fix, but to move along with it or to dance with it. And what are the new awareness or actions that's calling out to you as a coach from today's, session or from whatever you're going through as a reflection for your own self? And I'm going to use a tool that I created, and this is the first time I'm sharing about this tool in a group of coaches. This is something that can be used with individuals, teams, leaders using it with their teams, or a facilitator using it in your facilitation sessions. But so what we are going to do right now, I'm going to quickly take you, and Aruna, you can put that PDF in the chat. But I'm going to, while Aruna is putting it, it's called Insight
Yes,
Shifts.
yes, Abhi. I have uploaded a PDF in the chat. I request all the coaches here to download it so that they can have that with them, when they're doing the breakout.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Arun. Okay. So I'm going to quickly take you over 2 slides on this, and then you have the PDF for each breakout room. There is a specific set of cards that I've put. Using those cards, this is more like not group coaching, but like a reflective space for you to think and use that as your listening space. So this is a 108 pack of cards. It has 3 sets, which is seeing cards, symbol cards, and sensing cards. Usually used, the way I use it with my clients or with teams is to pick up these 3, and those 3 cases that I said as well. It's a random card picked without seeing. So what it does to the client is we're used to single card and reflection. When 3 cards are present, you're now nudged to think from a space of unknown, right? You move to a space of, okay, how can these come together? And that's what we're going to be trying to do right now with those questions. So this is the instruction. This is there in the PDF. You can, you've downloaded it. You can use it in the breakout room. So what you will do as the first step, each group has been given 3 different cards, one seeing card, one sensing card, and one symbol card. Individual listening, which is as soon as you see these cards in the PDF sheet, look at them individually and then see with the context of the question, what is emerging for you, right? Listen to yourself, think about what's showing up. And then as a group, bring all the cards together and all of your experiences of how it is showing up for you. Answer the question of what would it mean to truly dance with DEIB, and what is that one action that you're going to be starting to take from today, right? Just based on this session or just after this session that can help you, right? It can be an awareness or an action. If there's an action, great. If it's an awareness, just come back to share with us. And then, of course, how would you like to see these change or impact your coaching practice? So what you will see in the PDF for each breakout group, give me a second. Okay, so you will see in the PDF breakout room 1, 2. So whatever is your room number in this PDF, you can find that. And these are the 3 different cards that you will use. So each card will have a word. It will have a systemic kind of question. Then there's an image card and there is a symbol card. So think of each of them individually. And then when you put it together, how does it show up for you? So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. When you come back, let's hear how this cards kind of helped you to answer this question of what new awareness of action is calling out to you and what does it truly mean to dance. Okay, Aruna, we are good to go.
I'll open the breakout room. Okay.
Yes.
So to all the coaches, I hope you have downloaded the PDF. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Thank you.
This is wonderful cards, Hari. I mean, how you just had a look, but could not, actually sit and do whatever exercises that probably.
So this isn't even got launched. Thanks, Aruna. So I'm going to launch it only in the fall.
I think, Abhi, you need to come out of room number 1 because I think
I'm not in room number 1. Yeah, I didn't choose.
Yeah, why Krishna? So many people are still here. They have not joined, is it? Oh,
I didn't get the prompt.
Krishna, you would like to join any room?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you joined it. Vita, you would like to stay here? Kanan, would you like to stay here?
Yeah, I will, because I will be half informed to go into any breakout room now. So I can listen to the conversation.
Veena, were you not assigned any room? Veena not joined.
Yes, Gopal also there.
Yeah, there's Gopal as well.
I think they're just they will left the system because they're already. It shows here that they did not join. Okay, they've not joined the room.
I'm just seeing Rahul's message. Got locked out in and safe.
Great cards, Abhi. Great way to group them. Sense-making images. Wonderful.
Thank you.
The grouping, I was very curious to know, was it intention or random? How did you do it?
The grouping of what, Aruna?
The cards.
Oh, that random, totally random. That's why I needed to prepare. I needed to take pictures. That's why I asked you how many people, so I can be sure that I have so many groups. So this is. Oh, I'm on blur. Okay.
So when are you launching it?
Fall. So this is the box. So
I don't understand what does fall mean. Can you tell me in English?
September. Sorry.
Okay.
Going back, would you like to put her in some room, Aruna?
I've already assigned her a room.
And when are you bringing it back to India?
Oh, it is in India. I got it done in India rather. I mean, it's so complex to do it here. I find it easier because we know a lot of people there, right? So I kind of got.
Where can I get it in India?
That is my question too.
I can. Yeah, as soon as my mom, she traveled, so she's here, so she brought the boxes when she came. So there's a couple of ones that we've left in India for anyone who wants to pick it up from India. So anytime, Kanan, anytime. So I think I haven't.
Whenever it's accessible, whenever she comes back, whenever someone is available, I can have it collected.
Definitely. So like.
And I'm sure you're trying to price this at some level, right? What would be the commercial value of this?
So Mostly, I mean, that's where I'm kind of, stuck, because initially when I did it, my first one, I did it for myself to use in my team coaching, right? Just that. But then when I started using it, and then some of the coaches said you should change it into a product, which is what I heard from a couple of people here. And they said, you should make it into a box. And that's when it got even translated into a box this year. So I'm still working on it. I think I want to give opportunity for people to have a short workshop or something to see how to use these cards, because it is I mean, it's 3 cards, but there's a lot of systemic kind of, so I call this, how do you listen to the system? Because most times when change happens, change is already started in the past, right? It's never sudden really, but then when you pay attention to it and listen to it, then you're able to be prepared, or be more resilient. And that's what the intention of these cards are, to notice those subtle things and listen. So definitely working on it, work in progress. Kannan.
Yeah, whenever you're having that workshop, count me in.
Definitely. Thank you.
I see the value for team coaching, systemic team coaching.
Yeah, and these cards, the questions are all systemic. And the other thing is also, this is completely created using AI. So all the images, that was a challenge, which is also something that I said, because here, as the president of this chapter, there's always this question of, are we going to get replaced with coach, AI
With
and all
AI,
that?
yeah.
So for me, it also felt like, how else can we use AI in our coaching business? This could be like an example in some way. So I used Canva out and out to create all of these images. So if you really see, everything is created using AI. It's done an
So no
amazing
copyright
job.
issues.
Yeah, I would completely get it out of that, right? So
Yeah.
very interesting images that it created, and I could do this, and I know I've created products before as well. I could do this in 2 weeks, as opposed to having an artist and getting it done. It would have taken me about 6 months. So I kind of put couple of challenges. Can I create a product in 2 weeks? Can I create it using AI? Can it become something that different people can use? So that's why I'm still saying it's work in progress in my head itself.
Sure. No, all the best. It's really impressive. And do let us know what would it be priced.
Sure.
Came to know the price point.
Definitely different price always. Chennai price will be different than Canada and
Curiosity.
yes. And then the concept of a
Anyway, I'm
box.
not going to pay anything for you. So I'm telling you.
Kannan, that is like you ask her and then
Definitely, Kannan. We brought for you, then for what? So the idea is, usually we say, no, we box ourselves. So think outside the box. That's why this is also a box, but it helps you to. So there's so many types of thinking that we took in to finally bring it out, but hopefully it'll work. And
come out really well.
Geeta and Veena, are you not able to? Oh, Geeta, no activity in room too.
Oh,
What happened? Cheita, Geeta not joined, Krishna. They're all only just on mute. I can see nothing. Okay, Geeta, I'll assign you to something else.
Are you planning to travel this anytime to Chennai? Or is only your mom coming here?
you're asking about me, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I want to come in December mostly, because she's just come. So I'm probably thinking of December this year. It's been what, almost 2.5 years.
Aruna is logged out, I see.
Yeah.
You are there, me to take care. What do we worry
Yes, of
about?
course. Yeah, I would like her to be back and be included.
Yeah,
We all welcome her back, but yeah, you are still there, and I'm here, so we can all. Preeti is there. We can take care.
Aruna is back.
Yeah, there she is back. Aruna.
Aruna, you're on mute.
You're
And I know
on
that
mute. We know you're
connection.
speaking, but we
No,
can't hear what
I
you say.
I jumped into room number 2 to see what's happening, because the coach who's assigned said there is no action there. So just checked if they had any problem, any challenges. Not problem.
I'm sorry about this, Aruna. Last minute, a call which was supposed to have started at 5:30. The guy called me at 6 o'clock and said he wants to have a session. So just finished that and running there.
No issues. I had already backups, right? And also, usually, right, I invite co-hosts and or main anchor person. So today, Preeti is our main anchor person as the
Yeah,
cap.
Preeti, fantastic job to put it together.
Yeah,
And don't do anything. It's all Aruna's and
Yeah,
Abhi's
like what
work.
Abirambika was talking about, I think it's the presence that makes all the difference, Preeti.
Thank you, thank you.
See, I'm shamelessly stealing what Abirambika was saying. So.
We're all co-learning and creating, right?
Okay. Okay, I'll give them 1 more minute. I'll just say I'm closing in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think we are good now, I think, right? Yeah, 2 more minutes because it was 10:08 when they
Yeah,
went.
yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
hi.
they're
Hi,
coming
Sriraj.
out actually.
You didn't say a hi to you at that time when you came in. How are you?
Good, Abhi. Lovely presentation, huh? Lovely. Really loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you.
Abhi, will you be asking them to share? I'll just get my water.
Yes. Yeah. No, Sanil.
Ah, hi.
Hi.
Abhi, nice seeing you. Nice session. Great.
Thank you, Sunil. Nice seeing you too. My PCC buddy. Sunil and we work together on our PCC. Rather ACC, PCC. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
A coach buddy from the very beginning. Everybody's coming back.
We should connect long time, Abhi.
Yes, let's do that. I'm seeing smiling faces, so that's good sign.
It was a short 15 minutes.
From an inclusivity point of view, Abhi,
yes,
the organizers could have told us that do you want 3 more minutes? Then we could have wrapped it up, though. So I understand the time paucity and time limit is also there. So just
we will keep that in mind, Babu. Thank you. Okay, I know we are short on time, but I want to hear at least 1 or 2 people sharing how the experience was, any new thoughts or anything. Just at least a couple of them. Thank you, Raj.
So you had 3 pictures, and a picture is worth 1,000 words, and 3,000 words is the limit I should have had, provided I had only 15 minutes to deliver what I felt. And I had too many interpretations when I saw those 3 pictures. And our connectivity for every time when a thought arose, it was more like a bud sprouting out. It was like budding session. And that was a feel that I had when I felt the 3 cards, and each time when I looked at the card made me something different.
All right, beautiful. Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Cheers.
So keep seeing. So you have now 8 set of cards in the PDF, right? So you can kind of play with it as well as
randomize it.
Yeah. So the pack is 108. So there's so much potential in that one box to try in so many different ways. Thank you.
So is the card available in the market, or is that very?
Not yet. So this is the first time I'm showing these cards in a group itself.
Okay.
So probably launching it. So I have them in my hand, but it's it probably launch it in a month's time. So this is the box.
Perfect.
But it is made in Chennai. So it's fully Chennai done and brought here.
Okay.
So it is very much available in India. But
Abhi, while the interaction is going on, I request all the participants to switch on their videos so that we can have some pictures. So please.
Neeraj wanted to say something.
Videos, give
Second
your best
in line
smile.
was Neeraj.
Yes.
Neeraj, please.
Yes, Neeraj.
Thank you very much. So great experience, I must say. So far, I've used individual coaching cards in my session, but having the set of 3 used, it really, broadens your perspective and takes you deeper into your perspective. So beautiful exercise. I really like that. So all of us really connected well to each other in the breakout.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I picked up random cards. So the way I vision this happen is we don't see the cards and we pick it up, right? So one is picked up by seeing and the other 2 are picked up randomly. So it kind of nudges us to think in a different way, right? When we see and pick, we are always picking from what we know. And this is like a nudging to see something which is complete random, 4th dimensions. That's why I call it the 4th dimension thinking. But hopefully, that's my vision. And I'd love to hear feedback as well from all of you. Anyway,
in our group, Smita, Mahi, and Indu was there. and we were able to discuss, but Mahi could not speak. So would you like to share your experience in our group?
So, when I look this particular activity, it adds a trigger to the thought process. And, in fact, I could recall of certain experiences as well. So that was an amazing, amazing experience. And Abhi, can you share that where we can have these cards?
Yes, I will. So it hasn't got launched yet, Maheshwari. So I will be launching it in September. So I'll definitely share as soon as. Like I said,
You already created a market here.
like I said, and in team coaching, group coaching, I mean, my reason also was to create it for team coaching at some point. So it kind of started with that. I use it in my team coaching. So it can be used in so many different ways is what I realized as I kept working on it.
And Neeraj, importance is that in Neeraj and Mahi, since both of them, the importance is that when you people are using it or when we are using it, give specific feedback to Abhi. That would be very helpful because she can review it and relook at it. That would be very helpful for her.
Absolutely.
Okay, before I just have an announcement to make. Sorry to butt in. Actually, I uploaded the link I put the link for the Google form in the chat box, which you have to fill. And so we look forward to your feedback. And also, this is for climbing your CCUs. This session carries 1 core competency and 0.5 RD. So please do fill in and send. Please make sure that your email ID and the name and all is correctly entered in the form, right? So, Abhi, any other things you want to take the
Nothing, I'm
group
good.
through, or
No, I'm just good. I just wanted to leave everybody with this one thing, saying DEIB is not a destination, it's a journey, and we continuously keep going through this journey, right? And probably many of you are in different journeys in it. So just see how this kind of translates. And I'm happy to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. I can put my LinkedIn on the chat. And it's also here. And I'm so grateful. I wanted to thank all of you for being so patient, listening to me, and just having me here. This was just so nice to be back in this group. Thank you so much for having.
Thank you. So before we ask Baburaj to summarize, I would like to invite Raj to share a few of his thoughts or any takeaways. Anything you want to share, Raj, on DEIB?
Oh, that's great session, Abhi. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were the one to kick us off on this journey. Been a long time coming, as Preeti said. And I think thank you for opening our eyes. I think while a lot of us have been part of DEIB initiatives, today's session just opened my mind to the way that, and again, thanks to someone in my breakout group, even obvious things like people who are different from us, people who are maybe less fluent communicators or more technologically oriented is a form of othering. And people who, come to us as clients or the way that we deal with them, we just assume that they're like us, but putting ourselves in their shoes makes such a difference. And I think as a chapter, our intent to be more inclusive started with the VGA and having a very virtual chapter. We kind of increased it to when we had our breakout session with the RTD2 and started the coaching initiative with people with disabilities, which kind of further opened our eyes to it. And we're looking forward to doing a whole bunch of stuff in this space, working with Kannan, Baburaj, and others, and Preeti. Thank you. Thanks so much. Love the session. Preeti, over to you. Oh, Baburaj, sorry, over to you.
No, I think thanks to each one of you as participants. They were actively involved in the program. And special thanks to Abhi for a short notice. And she is always there. She is part of Namma Chennai, though she is based out of Canada. And she is also an office bearer of Kannada chapter. But interestingly, what I learned is an acronym out of which, because I am talking about my learning, and maybe possibly that learning will be a summing up of this workshop also. So what I learned is that use the word called CLADS, CLADS, and CLADS is also used in cricket, where the different colors, depending on the uniform, they can change. Different colors, different CLADS can be used. And when I look at the CLADS, so the first one is that the DEIB is something which all of us think that we know. but it is complex. So the C stands for it is complex. It's not easy. It is this one. The second one, the L stands for listening for safety. And what I like to was that, and that is one action plan which I said that I will look at it more during. Can I bring all of me here? Okay. When I say can I during my coaching conversation, can I see and feel the client in its fullest sense, or whether he is bringing only the pieces of him, or can I start feeling as an individual in totality, which I feel could bring a dramatic difference in the way I coach. So that is something which I learned as a listening for safety. That is the second element of CLAD. The third one is, first of all, appreciating and acknowledging. We are all, like what one of our friend spoke, we are simple human beings. We are fallible. We make mistakes. So can we appreciate and acknowledge the mistakes which we do it, be open, courageous in accepting it, and move ahead? Because that is very important in a DEIB platform, because we may err, starting with our family, in our family, with our spouse, can we relook at it, even with our children, and then neighborhood, with all this so-called chaotic chaos which is around us, can we look at it more from an inclusive lens? That is what the third one. The D stands for difference is not a problem to fix. So difference is not a problem to fix. Is something which is like a mindset. Three things which she was talking about it. One is mindset, method, and moments. So for me, what is that mindset I'm carrying when I'm sitting as a coach and as a simple human being? Forget about being coach, but even being a simple human being. What is that mindset which I'm carrying? Is difference is considered to be a problem, or is it something to be problem to be fixed, or is it something which is accepted? So that stands for D. And the last and most important thing, which is that, can I create space? The space creation. So that is CLADS, CLADS, CLADS. That is the way in which I sum up this entire workshop. And with a request to each one of us, can we dance with the differences? Thank you very much. And thanks to each one of you. Shubharatri, and good day for others who are not night, as in India. Thanks a lot.